Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Marketplace. Coming up this afternoon, government considers takeover of National Investment Bank by ADB as part of measures to restructure the financial institution. Also coming up, Ghana cedi expected to trade steadily this week as the Bank of Ghana intervenes in the market to cool off the pressure on the local currency. Plus, some players from the health and pharmaceutical industry concerned about the rate at which the current economic challenges are affecting the operations.
Interest rates are high, and so if you get into, and the equipment are also quite expensive, so you need to have some form of legislation that helps health care facilities to be able to get loans at better interest rates.
My name is Daryl. Kwawu. Thanks for being with us. Details coming up. And first up, this afternoon, government is considering the takeover of the National Investment Bank by ADB Bank. The move is part of proposed measures to help save the troubled financial institution. Jabir has been speaking with persons working on the transaction and has this report.
Joy Business understands that government hasn't made a definite decision yet when it comes to the takeover of NIB by ADB, but this is highly under consideration. This is because this is part of several options being considered to turn around the National Investment Bank, NIB. Sources say ADB itself may need some additional financial support to undertake this takeover, looking at the current state of NIB. We also understand that government has gotten to that stage where it claims it cannot continue to extend financial support to the National Investment Bank. Some persons close to NIB have also argued that the takeover is not the best option. This is because they have proposed several measures to turn around the bank. Some include a 2.2 billion Ghana cedis capital injection to turn around the bank, so that floating of shares to raise additional funds to recapitalize the National Investment Bank. Some of these persons have also argued that NIB itself has taken some steps internally which is yielding some positive results. While developments in the coming days will reveal how things will proceed when it comes to the takeover of NIB by ADB and whether it will come on or not.
Well, join us on Zoom, Dr. Jabir Mohammed, who is a banking and finance lecturer at the UPSA. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon as we make sense of this story. First of all, your thoughts on what is to blame for the troubled state of the NIB Bank?
Thank you very much for having me on your show, and good afternoon to your listeners. NIB is a national investment bank, and we are expected to be advancing some level of injection into the business environment. So to the extent that it's now having a serious trouble in the economy, that means that things are not going on well as expected. I think after the debt exchange program, we have seen a lot of banks struggling, and NIB is one of the banks that is not actually doing well. Pre the debt exchange program and post the debt exchange program, we are still seeing that level of non-resilience on the part of the bank. I think that if your loans are not really performing very well, it means that you are going to be having a high level of non-performing loans, and that is going to be affecting your profitability level. And I really think that this is one of the key troubles of the bank. And as you are not performing very well, you cannot keep on having you in the market all the time. That government will have to come in to continue to support you in terms of liquidity and all of that. So I basically think that there is something really wrong with the bank that needs to be addressed. And as your story has already been told, George Yafi argued that the bank management is making in serious effort to put it back to track, including raising of additional capital injection of 2 billion Ghana cedis, which I think that is even in the high side. Let us assume that if the bank really wants to be much more serious, they could start posting some level of profit. But is the 2 billion going to allow them to be able to push some level of profit? That is a question that we should be asking ourselves. And what has the management been doing for a very long time that the bank has not been really performing very well? And now that they're asking for 2 billion, will the 2 billion save them from this particular trouble? That is a question we should be asking ourselves once again.
Well, as George has been reporting, so they are considering ADB to take over NIB. Is that in itself a good move?
Well, is ADB having the key balance sheet to be able to take over NIB? That is a question we should ask. Is ADB making the right profit margin to take over NIB? Is ADB not having already so many branches across the country to be able to take on NIB in addition to that? So if ADB is doing very well and they don't need any additional assistance to do so, then that would be it. But I have a different opinion about that. Now, if you look at ADB, ADB is also struggling as a bank because all of them, during the banking crisis period, they were all supported by the Ghana Amalgamated Trust Fund. That was what was used to put them into qualifying stage, to be qualified to move on, to be part of the 23 banks that we currently have. So if ADB in itself was doing very well, then it means that they did not need the support that they were given. My point is always about the excessive political interference in the management affairs of these banks. Banks. If you look at Ghana Commercial Bank, they are doing very well. It is listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. ADB is also listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. But what is the performance of ADB on the stock exchange? Are their shares doing very well that we have to give them additional burden? These are serious considerations that we should be looking at as a country. And if we want to have a resilient banking sector, then we have to do the right thing. That will keep the banking sector in its proper form. So in my candid opinion, ADB per se may not have the right caliber of financial muscle in terms of their balance sheet to be able to take on the Ghana Commercial Bank. If they do have that, then they can take it over. There is nothing wrong with that. Like this Ghana Commercial Bank, they took over the Trust Bank and the Premium Bank, etc. in 2017. So that can also happen. But I also think that we have what we call the National Development Bank that was set up by the government. And the aim is to extend. So the National Development Bank is of similar business line with the NIB, the National Investment Bank. Why don't the National Investment Bank, that is supposed to be anchoring investment, business models and investment in the country, take over the NIB and spread their tentacles across the country? They can also do a joint takeover with ADB in a sense that some of the clients of NIB can be posted to Ghana, can be posted to ADB so that they will maintain some sizable level of branches across the country as a national investment bank. And I think that if we do that as a country, that can help to facilitate the procedure and the acceleration of the National Investment Bank in such a way that every part of the country will have a true benefit. Otherwise, as it stands right now, they want to operate a business model where they will have to be using commercial banks to do that. So why don't they also have some branches across the country so that can help to support that particular zero for us? So in my candid opinion, the National Investment Bank will be taken over by the National Development Bank since they are both in the same line of business. So that is what I also think. Or they can do a joint takeover by ADB and the National Development Bank. The both of them can come together to do so. And if they do so, they can list the bank on the stock exchange to continue to give us additional capital injection. So basically, that is what I think.
While we talk about the strength and the muscle of ADB, I just wanted to point out that ADB has also had its own challenges in the past and is just getting out of that. Aside from takeovers, any other solutions, any other way to bring NIB back to its feet?
Yeah, so that is why I was telling you that we can list NIB on the Ghana Stock Exchange. And I asked a question again that what is the performance of the already listed banks on the Ghana Stock Exchange? Or we can have foreign participation. We can open up the bank to foreign participation so that if any foreign bank can come in and inject the capital they need, then the foreigners can come in and hold some sizable level of shares in the bank so that we save the government from this kind of trouble all over the time, because we are already in the economic turmoil, right? Even the central bank alone is in crisis. The central bank even need a bailout, right? So if commercial banks are also needing bailout, it means that there is something really wrong with the economy, right? So we can invite foreigners to come in to take some of the shares of NIB. So if government is owning about 100% shares, government can pass away close to 70% of NIB shares to foreign participants, or even to local participants, right? So that Ghana government can only own like 30%, so that we save government the trouble of trying to continue to hold some banks that are not giving us any better headway.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Jabir Mohammed, Banking and Finance Lecturer at the UPSA. I appreciate your time with us. Now, some players from the health and pharmaceutical industry are concerned about the rate at which the current economic challenges are affecting the operations. According to them, much has not been done to support the operations and calling for more collaboration from government. Specialist obstetrician and gynecologist at the Midway Hospital, Dr. Gifty Gyan, says import duties and exchange rate fluctuations are affecting them. She spoke to Joy Business at the inauguration of the hospital's renovated theatre and labour ward.
Ghana spent on average about 6% of its GDP on healthcare infrastructure. Meanwhile, players within the sector say much is needed to support the pharmaceutical and health industry. According to Gifty Gyan, more private-public partnership is needed.
More of a, you need to have some government commitments. Private enterprise cannot do it by itself. You have to have some goodwill, because getting financing on your own is quite difficult. Interest rates are high. And so if you get into, and the equipment are also quite expensive. So you need to have some form of legislature that helps health care facilities to be able to get loans at better interest rates, to get more advanced technology, because healthcare is evolving. You require new advanced state-of-the-art equipment to diagnose cases, and they're expensive. And so without that goodwill, it makes it difficult for private facilities to be at par with government ones or to be on the world stage.
Midway Hospital says it will deliver a consistent, personalized service that will exceed client expectations.
Now, players in the real estate sector have appealed to financial institutions to support Ghanaian developers to help them compete with foreign companies operating in the industry. According to them, most investors are quick to help foreign companies, neglecting the efforts of Ghanaian real estate players. The Chief Executive Officer of Agazi Homes, Thomas Asa, made the appeal after he won the ultimate prize at the 7th edition of the 40 Under 40 Awards.
The awards ceremony, which was held in Accra, brought together business owners and investors across various sectors of Ghana's economy. Chief Executive Officer of Agazi Homes, Thomas Asa, was adjudged the overall best businessman. He used the occasion to appeal to investors to support young entrepreneurs striving to be competitive.
For real estate business in Ghana, I can say it's 50% okay and 50% not okay. Why? Because all the big men or the Ghanaian men think of supporting the foreign investors than the local investments. Therefore, I say our old men who you are calling 60 years, 70 years, 80 years to be ungrateful. They are not helping the young guys to grow up. Because imagine somebody is building something like a 5-star, let's say, apartment in Ghana here, and he's a Ghanaian. Because he's a Ghanaian, they will not patronize.
On this part, the CEO of Sodus Communications Limited, the organizers of the event, Richard Abe Jr., underscored the need to celebrate young achievers and encourage them to grow.
Okay, so the essence of 40 Under 40 as it is that you celebrate 100 young achievers. You understand? And I was telling you that we've gone across, the continent. I think we've gone out of this. We do it in South Africa. Now we have it in the United Kingdom, and then it's also on the continent, which is Africa level. Now in 2025, we want to do a global one. And so here we are honoring young people. People who are excelling in real estate, agriculture, technology, and all that. And the thing is that we believe that the youth are the people that you have to honor and encourage them. When you do that, they can make progress and all that. Now, there's also what we call networking among them. In fact, you find them greeting each other and all that. What they do is that they connect to each other in different businesses.
We have some news on the city. The local currency is expected to trade steadily this week as the Bank of Ghana intervenes in the market to cool off the pressure on the local currency. Last week, the city came under renewed pressure despite support from the Bank of Ghana to improve foreign exchange liquidity. Here's more in this report.
The local currency opened last week at a mid-rate of 11 cedis 50 pesos to a dollar and traded steadily, losing 0.65% week on week on the retail market. In the 35th forex auction for the bulk oil distribution companies, the central bank allotted $20 million at a 30-day forward rate of 11 cedis 42 pesos. The current forward rate indicated a 100 basis point increase from the previous auction. The Bank of Ghana also provided $11.5 million on the spot market to help tame demand pressures. However, this was not enough to stabilize the city as local demand caused the local currency to lose ground last week. Since January this year, the city has lost about 11.40% to the American greenback on the retail market and 22% on the interbank market.
Now, Chief Executive Officer of the Inter-Tourism Expo, Accra, Emmanuel Treku, has called for a concerted effort in the promotion of local tourism. According to him, the involvement of corporate organizations and the media in sensitization of some local tourist sites could support government's efforts in making Ghana a destination for tourism in the sub-region. Here's more in this report.
The 2023 Inter-Tourism Expo Accra is the leading tourism and trade show to be hosted in Accra, capital of Ghana, under the auspices of the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. The show will promote brands, destinations, products and services, as well as the Ghanaian culture. Exhibitors, buyers and trade visitors from the globe are expected to be hosted at the event, which will be held from the 20th to the 22nd September of this year. The event will also host thought leadership conferences with reputable international speakers from around the world. Emmanuel Treku, the CEO of the Inter-Tourism Expo Accra, explains the need to encourage local tourism.
Zima in GH, which these are all roadmaps and activities that we are harnessing to bring the destination to bear and to sell it to the world. So I think that they are doing their bit, but then we need the support of the Ghanaian populace, because we cannot deliver these attractions that we are not engaging in our own local tourism. I keep saying that Ghanaians, we are not comfortable with the tourism space. But then, if all of us can even go to our various hometowns a year, and then we say that we want to know what the attractions are, what the cultural elements are, in terms of our villages or where we come from, then we also sell our tourism activities within that environment.
Mr. Treku further that collaboration with academia and relevant stakeholders would boost the creative arts economy.
There has not been that kind of collaborations within our academia. That's why we have looked at it from that point of view, because what I see is that once they are trained and they come out, they go back into academia, but they are not coming into practice. So it's left in the hands of the informal sector, and we need to bridge this gap. Once that is done, I think it will bring to bear how we can sell it and how we can also promote it into the international community.
Dr. Johnson, the Jew of the University of Education, Winneba, emphasized the need to package and export Ghana's cultural values to the world.
If we can package whatever we have and export, it would work. It will help us, because some of the Westerners can pick our content, embellish it, and give it back to us. I keep saying that we are culture. You as a person, you are dance, you are music. You see what it did? Yes, and he was using his body even to create the whole music thing. So we don't have to limit our scope in terms of tourism.
The 2023 exhibition will host about 100 exhibitors and over 300 B2B visitors with a focus on connecting destinations to Ghanaian travel market. The move is supported by the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture and the School of Creative Arts, University of Education, Winnipeg.
Now, MultiChoice Ghana has promised to continue to provide high-quality pay television through cutting-edge technology to consumers. According to its managing director, Alex Otre, the company is working to improve content and services to ensure pleasant viewing for subscribers. He spoke to Joy Business at a media content showcase.
The event with the media and stakeholders will showcase the various content MultiChoice Ghana has for the next quarter and the next year. Alex Otre said, as part of activities to celebrate the company's 30 years of operations in Ghana, the MultiChoice Group is committed to providing its audience with more quality local content.
Every year we call the media and we, through you, show our customers what we have lined up for the rest of the year and even upcoming months. So that's why we are here. And this year, I think there's a lot of new stuff. So if you check on Aqua Magic, we're bringing a lot of new shows. So Casanuya more, Market Coins, a lot that we are bringing. The Family Bench. You know, there is no better time to be on Aqua Magic than now. Actually, in the coming few days and weeks, there's a lot of new shows that are coming, Ghanaian locally produced shows. And also, I mean, we announced very recently, few weeks ago, about our new Go TV package, the Go TV Super Plus, where you can catch all the Premier League matches, 380 matches, all on Go TV Super Plus. So what is new? I mean, we're bringing new shows, new content, and we want the world to know, we want our subscribers to know that we're bringing new content, so they should subscribe.
MultiChoice Group has over the years provided its audience with thrilling and compelling media content across all its platforms and channels, including Aqua Magic, among others, to the satisfaction of its viewers.
Now, Vodafone Ghana has outlined a new host of initiatives purposely aimed at helping small and medium enterprises transition from surviving to thriving businesses amid the current economic situation. According to Director in charge of Enterprise Business Unit and Wholesale, Tawa Bollering, Vodafone will continue to empower women SMEs with digital and financial literacy skills. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the 2023 Vodafone Ghana SME Month.
The Vodafone SME Month aims to empower small and medium-scale enterprises with the right solutions to grow, remain competitive, profitable, and relevant now and beyond. Tawa Bollering noted that one of the unique ways of surviving and thriving is to establish the appropriate framework for business growth.
Every year we bring something to the table for Vodafone SME Month. Every single year we increase the game. It's like we up the game from the year before. This year, we have obviously announced 4G Plus, which means that our customers literally everywhere can start to enjoy speeds that are more reliable, better than 4G today. We have the devices that we've just launched, which means that for people who don't have smart devices, 4G Plus devices, you can move into any one of our stores and you can get devices and pay over time in installments. In addition to that, those devices will also give you 2.5 GB worth of data every single month. We have thought leadership, a lot of information, educational materials, everything that you can use to grow your businesses. We're putting together online resources, insights from a lot of us experts around what you can do, and I'm basically inviting everybody all through the month of September to look out on our social media channels for everything you need to know about how you can grow and how you can expand your business.
This year's SME Month is under the theme Good to Great with Vodafone.
Now, with businesses having to grapple with the high cost of doing business as a result of economic pressures, some are also faced with operational costs. According to Chief Executive of Doman Foods, Francis Kofiga, employee wages have also become a major source of worry for many businesses. He spoke at a forum on entrepreneurial journeys organized by the Ghana Communication Technology University. Industrial Liaison Department of the Ghana Communication Technology University organized a forum to instill entrepreneurial mindsets in students. This has become critical due to the increasing number of graduate unemployment in the country. In an interview, Chief Executive of Doman Foods, Francis Kofiga, lamented the high cost of doing business, adding that employee wages are becoming a major source of worry for most employers.
The cost of doing business in Ghana is an interesting one. From the taxes you pay to the high rise of goods and services, prices just change. Prices just change anyhow. And then there's also another part that is not said, that is employees and their wages. Like people hardly talk about it, but every employee, because of the terrain that we are living in, economy that we are living in, the employees also need raise. They also need more money, and so to incentivize them or to motivate them, the money must also go up. And so it makes cost of doing business interesting. But I like to look at it from a different angle rather. I look at it and I say, if problems don't come to you, like there's a book entitled "The Obstacle Is the Way." It says, until there are obstacles, you don't develop muscles to become bigger.
Assistant Registrar at the university, Gloria Adle-Susu, urged the students to carve business ideas that are scalable and impactful to society.
What you have to do, find the problem, is right around you. When you find the problem, you need to develop the idea. Sometimes we rush into getting the idea materializing. You have to first of all see if the problem you have, like the CEO of Doman said, if somebody will be willing to pay for that product or that service. If somebody is willing to pay, then you go on further to find out, is somebody willing to sponsor this idea? Is this idea sustainable? Is this idea unique?
The students were also encouraged to constantly acquire new skills that would help sustain their businesses. All right, and that's our program this afternoon. Thanks for watching, everyone. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Stakeholders comment Access Bank 2023 half-year performance. You can read more about that. Can we do another headline quickly before we go? And mid-year statutory meetings of YFM, WAMA, WAMI start today in Ghana. Of course, discussing the common currency for West Africa. And the final one, we need to empower women and youth to help transform food systems. That's according to Africa Food Systems Forum, MD. myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Daryl. Thanks for watching. We will be back same time tomorrow.